Peace, peace, peace to the 5%ers. Peace to the Nation of Islam. Peace to the nation of gods and earth. Peace to whatever school of thought you are from. Peace. What it's all about. It's all about UNITY. Unity, right? So check it. Busta Rhymes hit the world, shocked the culture with his album. He dropped the album on the 31st, right? Busta dropped his album on the 31st, right? Understanding knowledge, all being born to culture. His album uplifted two cultures, right? His album uplifted the Nation of Islam and the Nation of God and Earth, or 5%ers, right? Now, say this. I'm not posting this for anyone to agree with me. I'm posting this here to cause you to think. Busta Rhymes title or track Master Farad Muhammad. When we are taught to do the knowledge, right? Do the knowledge, right? He titled a track called Master Farad Muhammad. And he dropped this album on the Understanding Knowledge, All Been Born to Culture Day. But when it comes to the Nation of Islam, the 5%ers, the Nation of God and Earth, Master Farad Muhammad is the root and foundation of it all. Master Farad Muhammad left a set of instructions. He left what is called supreme wisdom, right? Master Farad Muhammad left supreme wisdom. It had actual facts, student enrollment, solar facts, I'm in the 5%er group. Everyone pretty much knows, right? But there's a problem that is mentioned in the problem book, but it's also mentioned again in the Supreme Wisdom. It's the only problem that is mentioned twice in the Supreme Wisdom. Now, the Supreme Wisdom gave birth to the 120 lessons, right? But there's a problem in the problem book called Problem 13, right? Problem 13, right? And we can do the math. Knowledge, understanding, all being born to culture. What is our culture? Busta Rhymes drops an album approximately 90 years of the Nation of Islam from its founder, Master Farad Muhammad. 90 years later, born Cypher, born 360 degrees, born Complete number 9, that means born or existing. Busta Rhymes, right, a hip hop artist, and we know that the 5%ers have the strongest influence on hip hop music. So Busta Rhymes have a song called Master Farad Muhammad, where 90 years ago, Master Farad Muhammad raised up over 25,000 people in the 30s. He left as his messenger the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has some star students that's known to the world. And then there's some that's known, but they don't get the star power, such as Malcolm X, right? Father Allah, Muhammad Ali, Imam Warathuddin, right? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. There's others, there's countless other greats that comes from the teaching Dr. Savior, that comes from the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Right? But Busta Rhymes, in the history of hip-hop, is the only one that actually titled a song to highlight the Savior, Allah in the person, Master Farad Muhammad. On the song, he has Rick Ross. Rick Ross, in his lyrics, he mentions Master Farad Muhammad. Now, a lot of Muslims, I've been seeing this, a lot of Muslims from the Nation of Islam heard the song, heard the language in the song, the words, the lyrics of the song, and they disagree with the title being called Master Farad Muhammad. They disagree with mentioning Master Farad Muhammad's name within the song, and there was cursing in the song, talking about certain things in the song, so they disagree, right? Now, to me, and how I see it, and my understanding, your disagreement is based on your lack of understanding of supreme wisdom. Wisdom, which means wise words being spoken, right? Your lack of understanding of it. Why? You know, when Master Farad Muhammad came, he was in and out of America for what? 20 years before he made himself known? He came under disguise. He came looking like the devil, right? But he was among them, and he was among those people, and he could speak their language. And being able to speak their language, he was able to make his interpretation of who those people were. Now, when we deal with language, we're not just talking about mere words, talking. When we deal with language, we're dealing with people's lifestyle, the way people live, their culture, their way of life. So in problem 13, it teaches us in the lesson that Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when asked the question about Islam being a religion, he said, Islam is not a religion. We call it a religion among people of religious sects and mindsets that call what they have, their beliefs, a religion. But he said Islam is not a religion, but Islam is the nature in which the black man and woman was born. It's our nature. It's our way of life. It's our culture. And so, Master Farah Muhammad was into our nature. Our nature is mathematics. Our nature is Islam. Busta Rhymes, in the video titled Master Farah Muhammad, he has a picture of Master Farah Muhammad, and he shows also a picture of Father Allah. But in the video also, he has FOI from the Nation of Islam. And within the video, one of the brothers from the FOI holds up a message to the black man in America. What science is in this video, and how do we look into this video and gain an understanding that Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam? Then also in problem 13, it tells us that we must learn to use our mathematical theology in the proper terms. Otherwise, we would not be successful. What is mathematical theology? And what is the proper term? Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam. So our mathematical theology is the study of God. We must use our mathematics, our theology, our study of God in a mathematical way. What? What way? In an Islamic way. Islam means peace. Islam is our culture. Islam is our nature. Our nature, the study of God, is the study of our nature. The study of our culture, our way of life. In studying our culture, we are divided based on our lack of understanding somewhere of what the culture is, what our way of life is. So you have those who will say the Nation of Islam, they follow religion. Y'all religion, y'all believe in a mystery God. Master Farah Muhammad is Allah in the person in the Nation of Islam. Arm, leg, arm, head. Right? And our lesson and our teaching, we are taught that we are all Allah. But there's a supreme Allah. That we are all gods, right? The question is asked, who is the original man? Right? Original man, mine, right? So how could a man that asked the Honorable Elijah Muhammad the question, Master Farah Muhammad, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad who answered it, you see what I'm saying? Believe in a mystery God and teaches his students and his followers of a mystery God. When you read Message to the Black Man, it opens up with, who is that mystery God? The mystery God is an unseen reality. If you're God, if the black man is God, and I look at another black man, and that black man is trying to guide me or teach me, and I submit to that God, I'm submitting my will to do the will of that God, because that God has a strong will and desire to teach me, to help me grow to be a better me, which is God. Busta Rhymes uses his platform, which is hip hop, and to drop science. He's using his mathematical theology in the proper term. Right? What do you mean Busta Rhymes is using his mathematical theology in the proper term? Term can mean time. He's using it at the proper time. Term means he's using it based off how he determines situations and circumstances that's going on in this world. The black man is God. Peace, God. Thanks for listening. The black man is God. Who is the original man, the original mind? The original man, the original mind is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth. Father of civilization, mother of civilization, God of the universe. You say, well, hey, wait, hold up. You messed that up. It don't have mother civilization in there. But you can't have a father of civilization without having a mother of civilization. That's an actual fact. That's an actual fact. But if we are makers, owners, what are we making and what do we own? To make something, you can create a thing. Peace. If I'm in my house and I'm writing lyrics, and I know, man, if I come this way, the God's gonna like this shit. The Nation of Islam gonna love this. The 5%ers gonna love this. The Morris Science Temple gonna love this. The New Black Panther, they gonna love this because it's conscious, right? But hell, that's preaching to the choir. See, we get in these groups, the 5%ers, such and such group, with people that we say are alikes or like-minded, right? And we get to building with each other. But what if our duty is to civilize the uncivilized. So the 85% who doesn't know who Master Farah Muhammad is, doesn't know who Father Allah is, doesn't know who the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is, doesn't know who Noble Jew Ali is, doesn't know. How do we drop a seed on them? Study the language. We go among the people and we study the people. And when you go among the people and study the people and see the people's mindset, now you got to use your mathematical theology in the proper term. You have to determine how to reach those people to bring them out of their condition. How do we bring the 85% out of their condition? Master Farah Muhammad said, no one is successful in teaching a people unless they can clearly speak those people's language. That means, you ain't gonna be able to reach the Arabs if you don't speak Arabic. You won't be able to reach the Africans unless you speak all those languages in Africa. You won't be able to spend. No, the language is their way of life. We cannot be clear. We cannot be successful unless we clearly speak the people's language. Why do you think Father Allah was successful in his undertaking? Because he went into the streets, right? Now, Father Allah in the nation was class 13X. And I know a lot of gods don't like nobody to mention he was class 13X, right? But that's his history, right? You can't separate him from his history. But 13, like problem 13, we doing the math. 13, knowledge, understanding, all being born to a culture. The Father Allah created a culture called the 5%ers. But his culture was based on understanding now that Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. And the Father used his mathematical theology in the proper term, at the proper time. Why? Because he went into the streets and he was able to clearly speak the language of the young people of that day and time that was not going into the temple. Some of y'all has such a low level of understanding of the time. So when you say, the Nation of Islam, they kept the knowledge away from the people. They kept the knowledge away from the baby. They kept the knowledge away. They was on some 10% shit. They had the knowledge, but they kept that shit in the temple. Man, come on. Y'all need to stop playing. Here we are. We talking about in the 30s. Y'all crying right now about white supremacy in 2020. Y'all crying right now about the devil and the cracker and the white man oppressing her. Y'all talking about that right now. Just think about it in 1930. If the teaching, the supreme wisdom, was released outside of the mosque to everybody. If anybody, so you had to come into the house. So the supreme wisdom was for registered Muslims only. See, some of you don't want to get disciplined enough to come into the house or come into the ranks, which is cool. But don't attack the foundation, don't attack the root of civilization for you here in America. The supreme wisdom was only for registered Muslims only because you had to put them in a controlled environment. And now that you have them in a controlled environment and you are teaching a mentally dead people that was coming up out of prison, people that was on drugs, you put them in a controlled environment and now you teaching them to be God. You are raising them from a mental and spiritual dead and standing them on the square to a perfect perpendicular and standing them on a square. But Father Allah took the supreme wisdom lessons into the streets. But he could speak their language. This is why with the smoking, the drinking, and the gambling that they talked about, he was successful because he could clearly speak the people's language. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said when he first heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speaking, he was sitting up in the balcony area and he was thinking to himself, man, this man messing up the English language. And said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad looked up and said, don't worry about how I'm saying it, put it in that fine language that you know and give it to the people. Meaning what? Meaning you put it in the language that you know. If you in the colleges, if you in the streets, if you in the church, you take this language, you take this teaching and you put it in the language that can reach the people. Excuse me. That can reach the people. Now you must learn the language in the 1 to 36 English lesson C number 1. It says that the devil made an interpretation. How can he make the traitor made an interpretation? They went into among the people and they started studying the people's language. Do you think white folk went into Africa, went into Asia already knowing the languages? No, they went among the people and they studied the culture. They went among the people and they studied their way of life. Then they was able to make an interpretation. And so Busta Rhymes has reached the people. Some young people now know or heard Master Farah Muhammad. He's being successful because he clearly speaks the people language. Some of us older guys, some of us older ones, right, that love hip hop, we ain't listening to that that's out there with them young folks. So when a J Electronica and others come out with something, we like, yeah, that's what we need. Busta Rhymes is hip hop. Busta Rhymes is dropping knowledge, but he has to reach a group of people that wouldn't normally listen to the teachers. They ain't listening to you on the corner no more as the nation of gods and earth. They ain't listening to the Moorish Science Temple. They ain't listening to the Hebrew Israelite. If you out there on the corner, they ain't listening to FOI. But when Busta put out a jam, all my people make them jump, then the people jump, and they bopping and they rocking. And if they got the album, then the album go into dropping knowledge itself. That album start dropping who the 5% is. That album start dropping science. He plants a seed. Then it's up to us who say that we got knowledge itself to start now. Once we talk to somebody, hey, did you hear that Busta Rhymes album? Yeah, I heard it, but I didn't understand it. Now you got a teachable moment. Did you hear the Busta joint? I seen the video and he showed it, a white man, and then he showed this old man in a picture. Well, you know who that was? That was Master Farah Muhammad, and that was Father Allah, who's da. Right? So Busta is planting seeds through his music. Now it's up for us to take that and use that as a teachable moment, not a moment in time to attack somebody. See, when we're in these groups and somebody posts something, it ain't for us to attack them. It's for us to build each other. It's for us to look into what they posted. Our disagreement might be based on our lack of understanding. We might not understand why that person posted something. And then if we see a post that has evil intent, then we supposed to be like, yo, I'm not going to deal with this post right here. The objective is for us to become gods. Huh? Right and exact. The objective is for us to build. Builders build. I asked somebody, I said, we got the 85%, the 10%, and the 5%. I said, when do the 85% become the poor righteous teachers and the 5% become the blind, deaf, and dumb? When do we change the status quo of the population? How can we reach some of those who are 10% in our community and change that? Something to think about, right? Instead of trying to find ways to attack each other, we got to find ways to build each other. We have to find these ways. We are gods. We got to learn to use our mathematical theology in the proper terms, the proper time. Yo, I ain't going to hold you up. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank you all for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Michael Muhammad, a.k.a. the Mike God. You know, some God came on here looking at my name, Mike God, and talking about what Mike Chicken. Right? See, that's foolishness, right? Mike God, Master I see God cipher divine. A master how I see God cipher, and it's divine. So when I look at you and I see God, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, every time you look in the face of a black man, you're looking at God. So peace to the gods.